Good evening. This is episode 14 From the Garden to the Track, and this is Dylan.
Sam.
And Sam's kind of feeling a little sick this evening, so she may not chime in a whole lot. But anyway, just some upcoming stuff. Going to be going to Jackson, Ohio next weekend to pull. I won't be vending there, but if you see me, come say hi. I'll be going to Liberty March 6th and 7th, I believe. And if anyone needs any parts, please get a hold of me. I like to have some pre-orders before I go. Easiest way to pre-order is get on the website, www.ddfabandwelding.com. Just select store pickup and leave me a little note there that you want to pick it up at Liberty, or you can call the shop phone. That phone number is on the website as well. Been really, really busy in the shop. Appreciate everybody's patience. I've been sold out of a lot of stuff, working to get stock back up. It's been rough lately. Been very, very, very busy. Plus building tractors too. It's a good time. Sam, you got any library stuff to speak of? Any good programs coming up?
Well, we've done some revamping of the library, and so we're having an open house next month. But I was just awarded a grant this week.
Should we get your tractor done by next month?
I was awarded a grant this week to offer financial literacy programs at the library, so that's exciting.
I'm good. Have you been doing anything exciting?
No, we've been short-staffed, and I just had to let someone else go. So, no.
Okay. Last weekend we went on our honeymoon. Her parents got us a cabin for basically a wedding gift, I suppose. We went down to Pigeon Forge. We will not be returning.
The cabin was beautiful.
The cabin was wonderful. We didn't really care for Pigeon Forge. To me, it was like a big, crappy county fair.
Interesting.
We didn't like it.
Just a lot of people.
We went when it was super cold. Yeah, we went when it was super cold, and there wasn't as many people. But yes, I can agree with you.
Yeah, everything was tough to get around. Lots of lights, lots of commotion, lots of crap. We ended up going to the visitor center in the national park, though, and that was really cool.
Did you go to the see-through bridge by chance?
The what?
The big, long see-through bridge?
No, we couldn't get anywhere. Who would have thought Valentine's Day and Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg would have been as crowded as it was? It was insane.
It was not wonderful.
I'd hate to see it in the summer.
There were things we wanted to do, but we kind of wanted everybody else to leave.
Yeah.
But anyway, we found a boardwalk that had a bunch of artsy stuff that was neat. Sam got, what did you get, Sam?
I got a Highland Thistle bone china teacup, which is a very big deal for me. I was very excited.
And I know the people. Do what?
I said, hang on a second, I need to Google that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know everybody listening to this Pulling Tractor podcast knows exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, we found some neat stuff. We went to a little pottery deal, and there was some neat stuff. We did have a good time, but we would prefer not to go back.
Did you hit up the Moonshine Distillery by chance?
Yes, we tried to go to Old Smoky in Gatlinburg. That didn't work. But we went to the one in Pigeon Forge, and I was a little
also didn't work.
Yeah, that didn't work either. I can go to Speakeasy up the road here and get everything they had and a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
I was hoping it'd be a little more like a big tour of actual distillery. It was just very touristy. Here's our jars. Here's our price T-shirts. There you go. And I was going to buy a couple jars there, and we was going to do a tasting. And I told her, I'm like, I'll just go to a speakeasy up the road here and save me a couple bucks. But we did go. There was a cider place next to it that had like nobody in there. And we went and did a tasting deal there, and that was pretty good stuff, actually.
We bought a bottle.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else we did. We got a pizza and fixed it at the cabin, so that was fun.
Yeah, frozen pizza. That was our Valentine's Day dinner.
Oh,
frozen pizza and a cheese ball.
Do what, TJ?
You cannot go wrong with a frozen pizza.
No.
Stuffed crust, and then a cheese ball, and then we watched just a movie on streaming. So.
Yeah, it was actually quite wonderful. But anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and just introduce the little fella that keeps chiming in on us. Tonight we have got my buddy TJ Nichols on. So, hey, buddy.
How are you?
I'm lovely. And yourself?
I'm doing just fine. Sleepy.
Same. Well, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? What do you do for a living? How old are you? Your wife and kids, all that good stuff. Don't talk about your tractors yet.
So I live in a little small town called Mound City. I'm sure you know where it's at, but a lot of people probably don't.
Yep. Where the two rivers meet in southern Illinois. That's where.
That is, yeah.
That's it.
I'm 27, and I have two beautiful boys. One is 2, and one is getting ready to turn 1. So our house is quite hectic.
Yeah.
And my lovely fiance that loves traveling all summer with me. She's put up with me for the last 4.5 years. So.
Fiance, I didn't know that you guys were engaged.
Yeah, we're engaged. We're not married yet. We got engaged. Let's see, that would be almost 3 years ago. And then we was pregnant with Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of pushed things back just a little bit. You know, we wasn't ready to rush anything, but so we ended up having Cooper, and we was trying to plan it again and ended up having our second child. So we're kind of just on we'll do it when we do it.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
That's life.
No.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
What do you do for a living?
So I work for the railroad company, CN Railroad. I don't really know how to explain exactly what I do. It's track maintenance.
You sit
a lot of things. Yeah, well, visit your shop every now and again.
Yeah, track maintenance. What'd you do before the railroad?
So before the railroad, I worked at Phoenix Paper Mill over in Wickliffe, Kentucky. I was a chemical operator over there. Yeah, I was there I gave them 5.5 years of my life. And things just didn't work out. Started looking for something new. The swing shift schedule really screwed everything up, especially once we had our first child. It kind of took away a lot of time from being home. And just looked for something different, and then this popped up, and I jumped all over it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on right now, but I love it. I love the new job. I love being home every day.
You've got lucky though.
Mm-hmm.
You've got lucky with being home. I think you know that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm blessed to say that. I mean, there's guys that aren't as lucky, aren't as lucky as I am, but it should all turn around. Hopefully. Because there's some good guys still at home, and it sucks.
Yep. Well,
about the summary of my life, it's not really too exciting other than my children.
Yeah. Well, they are fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Absolute blast.
Well, I guess we'll get into our little icebreakers here. Get you, we're a little less nervous. I know you said you were nervous.
Yeah, just a little bit. I get a little stage fright every now and again.
I don't believe that.
Well, a few road sodas and it would have been a little bit different.
That's fine. Have at it. I ain't gonna lie. There's been a couple I've partaked in some margaritas before.
I ain't quite a margarita man yet.
Oh,
Dylan is only a margarita
I'm a
man.
margarita guy. I'm fancy though. You knew that.
I'm a more of a Tractor Pulling sponsored Busch Latte guy.
Of course you are. So, Sam, you want to start the icebreakers? Are you feeling up to it?
Well, we're going to play a game of what's going to kick in first, the cold medicine, or, like, am I going to make it?
Feeling a little
leave her
dressy.
It's a pretty fun game.
If she starts snoozing, I'll leave.
Who's your tractor pulling idol?
Brandon Simon.
Oh, why is that?
Well, he's a really good dude. Actually, it's kind of a toss-up between Brandon Simon and Kevin Masterson, really. Just because they're like super smart. And
Yeah.
they do a lot of winning. And obviously I like winning. Just as everybody else does that shows up.
I don't know. After you pulled it in last year, I'd say that was probably a lie.
Yeah, well. Hey, you know how it goes. Things happen.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, no, it's just like Brandon Simon, for instance. He can jump in any piece of equipment, no matter if it's 4-engine mod, 2-engine mod, or his pro stocks, 2-wheel drive truck. He can just flat out win, and he knows how to win. And to me, that's freaking awesome.
Yep. So,
I don't know if you've watched him or not, but.
Oh, yeah. It's funny you say that because, of course, you're my Pullers Championship date.
Oh, yeah.
And I was telling Sam one night, or after we got back, I'm like, I love going with him because he's the only one that nerds out to this crap with me. And it was because, like, we were walking around, oh, my God, it's Brandon Simon.
When it comes to the Pro Pulling League and, like, the NTPA, like, whenever summer hits, I'm constantly watching it on TV. My wife gets upset about it, but it's funny because my son absolutely loves watching it with me. And so we'll sit on the couch and we'll watch TV. We'll watch the live pulls. And I just keep up with it, throughout the summer. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a sports fan, like a major league sports fan.
Oh, I get it. I don't sit and watch football, but I'll watch pulling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't keep up as far as, like, the points race. Like, I don't keep track of the points or anything like that, but I do watch 90% of the pulls, and it's quite fun.
Yep.
It's something that I enjoy.
Yep. You want to get the next one?
If you could meet any puller, past or present, who would it be?
That's kind of a tough one. Local-wise, hearing back on it, I would have liked to been in the Tom Nixon era. And meet some of those guys, some of the old school nitty-gritty guys.
Definitely. I've talked about Tom a lot.
Yeah.
We both know Forrest well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tom is why I like tractor pulling so much, man.
Yeah, and back then, it was a lot. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not fun now, but back then it was really fun for them. Just hearing the stories, and I sit there and talk to some of the old heads at tractor pulls, and it's like, man, what a time to be alive.
Absolutely. I would love to get TJ and Forrest on here one night talking.
Mm-hmm.
They got some stories. TJ's got more.
I'll be honest. When you told me TJ was going to be on the podcast, that's what he said. He just said TJ's going to be on the podcast, so I automatically assumed it was the other
like
TJ.
Tommy, I don't know. Do you know? I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive. Terry Palmisano, that had the little auto center there in Pulaski.
No.
See, they used to be back in the day. They used to pull super stocks, and then like the Cranes, Warren Crane and Justin Crane, and Colin Crane. They all pulled super stocks back in the day, and those were the times that I wish I could go back to.
Absolutely. I didn't know that they pulled that local to us. I remember going to all the county fairs and seeing Tom and Henry Piper and some of them old guys like that.
And Esden Lynn.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Which, I mean, he's still pulling, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tommy Nixon era, like when he was pulling, Forrest was telling me back in the day, like it was the ATPA, It
Yep.
was the NTPA, and then he was telling me like the stories of they would just travel all week and he'd be gone. And I'm like, yeah, those are the days.
Yeah,
When they
I
were
don't
actually
remember
slinging weights.
the exact story, so I ain't gonna say too much on it. But TJ's told me he got run out of a couple haulers a couple times
Yeah,
from
because
some more famous
TJ's quite a
guys.
little bit older than Forrest is, so he would probably have some more funnier stories. Forrest
Yeah,
was more of childhood stories, I guess you could say.
yeah, yeah. I think Forrest said he was 15 when Tom passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to go back to my childhood just because I'd understand it better now.
Sure. And then, like, Brian Curry, the guy who owns the tractor, just listening to him talk is it's crazy. Some of the fairs that we go to now, and he's like, starts telling me stories about how it was back in the day. And with David Gooderslaw, I don't know if you know him or
Yep,
not, the guy
I
that
know
pulls the
names.
4-1. Yeah. And they used to travel all over in Indiana and Missouri and Tennessee, and just some of the stories that they had was just, I'm like, man, it seems way more fun back then than it does now.
Yeah, yeah. I know some of the stories I've heard. It was more of a gathering and an event. Everyone kind of hang out rather than go do their business and leave.
hmm Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, if I definitely had time to go back to, it'd be then with the Tommy Nixon era and all them.
I definitely agree with that. Our next question, you got to answer this, and I know you have an answer, so don't deflect.
No, here we go.
What 90s girl country song do you jam out to when it comes on the radio?
I don't really have one.
You're full of crap.
Everyone has one.
I guess it would be like, I don't know. I don't even know if it was the 90s era, but man, I feel like a woman.
Absolutely. That's every man's 90s
Yeah.
or, early 2000s.
I was going to say, I don't know if that's the 90s or not.
What was that?
I said, I'm not sure if that's the 90s or not, but that's definitely one.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it was the late
definitely
90s.
Shania.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite class to watch pulling?
I am a die-hard 10,000-pound pro stock guy, for sure.
Heck yeah.
Although I do like watching the 4-1s too. I really like following the 4-1s too.
Man, I feel like a woman was in 1997. Our researcher here just looked it up.
So he was good then.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is your best dad joke?
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Oh, come on. Why?
Well, hang on. I got you a better one. Why did the man with one hand cross the road?
Why?
To get to the second-hand shop.
Good grief.
But I want to know why the chicken crossed the road.
Nobody knows.
Oh, okay.
Where are you going to eat after the pull?
Well, it depends if we're pulling or if we're going to watch.
Ooh, give me both.
So I have a funny story. So obviously when we go to pulls and we're pulling, we have a gooseneck and blah, 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 or our hauler or whatever. So you're slim pickings at midnight, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Or, 11 o'clock, whatever. You're slim pickings anyway. So there was a story. We was leaving out of Redbud, Illinois, and we were coming back. We had the gooseneck. We were hungry. It was me, Brian, and I believe it was Eric Earnhardt, maybe. Anyway, there was only one place open, and it was a Taco Bell, and it was 12:30 at night. So we swung in the parking lot, and obviously you can't get through the parking lot or through the drive-through with a gooseneck and a tractor. So Brian has the bright idea that we're just going to walk up to the order thing and order. So we go ahead and order, and then we get we get up to the window, and the woman looks at us and she was like, "I cannot serve you guys."
I've heard that before. Like, That makes no sense to me.
Well, yeah. So we get up there to pay, and she's like, "Sir, we cannot serve you guys because you're not in a vehicle." So it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's out. It's just us. The tractor's sitting right there where she can see it. And Brian was like, "Well, I guess we could get the tractor off and drive it through." So anyway, we ended up not doing that because it was a pain in the butt. We ended up paying a guy to order our food, and then he drove through the drive-through and then pulled around to the trailer and gave us our food. Funny, it was actually more funny to be in person, but I thought that was the most wildest freaking story. It was hilarious. We didn't know what we was going to do.
I just never have got that. Why
The only thing that would have made that better is if we'd unloaded the tractor, it probably would have overheated, but if we could have unloaded the tractor and actually went through the drive-through, now that would have been quite funny.
How'd you melt down your motor? Driving it through Taco Bell.
Hey, but the burritos were good. Give Luke a call the next morning and be like, so you guys had some engine problems. What happened? Well, we were in the Taco Bell drive-through. 5 startups later, here we are.
But we got a Crunchwrap Supreme.
Yeah, but our Crunchwrap was good.
Oh, good grief. All right, so that's the end of our, funnies, icebreakers, whatever. For those listening, if you haven't put it together by now, TJ don't pull a garden tractor. I thought it'd be kind of fun to have someone that pulls a big tractor get on here and talk, and he's a buddy of mine. I'm gonna let you tell a little bit about that. What kind of tractor do you pull and what series you pulling in?
So we have a 9240. It's a hot farm class. It's kind of an open cubic inch limit. There's a lot of hot farm classes like in the PPL and the NTPA, and then down there with I want to say it's the mid-state guys. Some local deals or whatever, they have cubic inch limits. Most of them, some of them are 466, some of them are 540. But the unique thing about our class is we pretty much opened it up. So you've got guys that are running 466 motors. We used to have some big block John Deeres. Obviously we have a big block, running, 600 plus cubes. So it's kind of a unique class that's divided up. We pull with the Illinois hot farm stock pullers throughout the state of Illinois. But it's kind of a unique class. It's divided up to where it's kind of even for the 466 guys versus the big block guys, as far as RPM limit. But all the other things are, regulated out, like turbo size, weight class, down the list of things like that. So it's kind of divided up.
What weight do you guys, what's your weight class you pull in?
So that's kind of another unique thing. So like with the PPL circuit and, when we ran with the Mid-South guys, it's a one hook deal. It's one weight class and you go home. Just like it is on, the big classes and, so forth. It's one hook and you go home. With our class, we actually run twice a night. So we run a light class, which is 8,000 pound. And then we run a heavy class, which is 9,250. So basically nothing changes. You just pull weights off and add weights on, run twice, and you get to go home. So it's kind of a good thing. You get more bang out of your buck for driving 2 or 3 hours away from home.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it a little bit worse. Kind of like what, you guys do. You pull 2 or 3 times wherever you go. So it kind of makes it a little bit more worth your money driving out.
Definitely.
What other hobbies do you have besides pulling?
I golf, surprisingly. I'm sure Dylan probably didn't know that.
Actually, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, I enjoy playing golf, riding the side-by-sides. Like to do a lot of fishing. And other than tractor pulling, that's about all I do when the weather's nice.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I too golf.
Well,
You didn't.
I did not know that.
Whenever you're on your way to work tomorrow and you go by our house, look about 2 blocks to the east, and you'll see my golf course I attend quite often in the summer.
Yes, it's the finest of goofy golf.
There's one I didn't know there was one in Marion.
Yeah, it's right there behind the pool. And, yes, we frequent the goofy golf up the road.
Yeah, in the summer we walk
that?
over.
What was that, TJ?
Can you explain goofy golf? I guess I've not heard that one.
Mini golf.
Oh!
You with us now?
I'm with you now. Okay. Yeah, I can get down with some mini golf. I'm very competitive when it comes to mini golf, but
We like it. You'll have to come up and we'll get goofy at the golf.
Speaking of golf, Marion's supposed to be getting that new Top Golf thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not about that. I'm not much of a driver. However, I would like to gather up all of my wonderful friends one day and dress up in our finest golfing attire and go goofy golf.
Sign me up.
Let's do it.
No questions asked. Sign me up.
Okay. I'll see who else I can gather up. It'll be a good time. It's actually a fun little course to go play.
There has to be a wager, though. We have to come up with some type of wager. You can't just win. There has to be something to win for.
Oh, I do like this. So, Sam, who else do you think we could get to go goofy golfing with me and TJ? You think Corey would be down?
Maybe. I guess just...
What kind of wager are we thinking?
That would have to be determined at a later date. But
it
would have to be something...
I'm not doing no hot chip shit. I ain't doing no waxing my legs. I ain't doing a hand in a mousetrap either.
Oh.
I thought I was more along the lines of like loser buys dinner, but whatever you guys are, whatever.
Well, me and him both listen to No Practice podcasts, and those were some wagers that they had.
No.
And I'm not into that. No.
Yeah, their wagers were kind of tense. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever the waxing come out, I was like, okay.
It hurts. Yeah. So. Huh.
Yeah. And then the hot chip, no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking something that's gonna like hurt you or painful, but something that you think back on, you'd be like, man, that sucked.
Yes. We might have
stand out on the road in front of your shop and hold up some type of sign, maybe. The winners get to pick the sign.
Well, okay, that could be, but you might still come out on top because if you're working, you're just going to get paid to stand there in front of my shop holding a stupid sign. Because Michael will let you go do that instead of working that day.
I don't think he would have a problem with that at all. Even if there was work, he would be like, you'd stay.
Yeah. You lost the bet. Well, this might be a good thing for some of our friends listening. Feel free to comment wherever you're listening on some ideas for some wagers for me and TJ to go play goofy golf and, see what we could do there. That could be fun.
I'm definitely down with it, even if you made me wear like a pink shirt or something during a hook or something, maybe. I don't know.
I'm thinking maybe one of us wears something a little silly at the Pullers Championship this year.
I can do that. I'll do that for free. I mean, we don't even have to play golf.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I'm full on ready to cut up at any time.
Oh, yes. Well, if anyone's got any suggestions, please let us know. We'll revisit this. We'll get you back on here one of these days, and we'll revisit that.
I'm 100% game for it, bub.
So, you said you liked riding side by sides too.
Yes,
where do you like going riding?
So, where I'm from, there's quite a bit of back roads, which is but people listening may not. It's a very rural area, so there's not a whole lot of businesses. There's not no big city or anything like that. It's mainly country roads, dirt roads, blah, blah, blah. And obviously living right next to the river, when the river's low, we can spend a whole Sunday or Saturday out there and ride all day long. We've created a bunch of trails down here in the woods that we ride through, and it's just something that, you know, we can get out and do, and me and Michaela can get out and ride with the kids, and the kids can enjoy it, and we can be out with family, and, you know, it's we can usually make a good full day out of it, and they enjoy it too, which we got a new side-by-side now that the kids can go with us, so, you know, they really enjoy it. It makes it fun. They get out and play in the water. I know a lot of people may disagree with kids playing in the water, being in the river, but, you know, that's the way I grew up, so.
Yeah, look at you. You're doing fine.
Yeah, a little wacky, but that's okay.
Yeah. Whatever's in the water down there, I don't know about.
Yeah, it's something in the city's water for sure.
So, back on tractors. So tell us about the tractor you pull. Tell us about Brian and how you got hooked up with Brian and pulling his tractor.
So it's kind of a long story. It's kind of a funny story. So his son is my age, and you know, we were really good friends growing up, and I was probably, I don't know, I want to say 14, maybe 15 or so. Used to go up there and stay the night with him and whatnot, you know, as kids or whatever. And it was always weird. We would stay the night and then we'd go tractor pulling. That's when I never knew nothing about it. I didn't grow up on the farm, blah, blah, blah. You know, so that was all foreign to me. Finally went to the first tractor pull, hooked since day one. And,
that's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
I said, that's kind of funny. You were hooked.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah. And, you know, as time progressed, we just started going more and more. And at first, you know, it was kind of like, oh, you know, this is cool, whatever. Well, then it progressed into, wow, this is actually really fun. And a lot of people thought it was silly at the time, you know. A bunch of my friends thought it was stupid. Tractors are doing what tractors are supposed to do, and that's pull things, right? But, no, I think it was around when I turned 16 or so, I started actually working out at the farm a little bit, you know, as I was still in high school and whatnot. And I continued to keep going, and, you know, we was going whenever I could. Obviously couldn't go through the week most of the time, but in the summertime I was definitely going as much as I could. And I don't know, man, I went for probably, I would say 4 or 5 years or so. And finally one day, you know, we was out in the shop working on the tractor or whatever, and I told Brian, I was like, you know, I want to run it. And he was like, Bub, he said, I don't know if you're ready for this, you know. But as time progressed, I kept hounding him. And then one day, whenever we were getting the tractor ready for the season, he was like, are you ready? And I was like, ready for what? And he was like, are you ready to run it? And I absolutely shut down. I mean, it was like, I was like, yeah, I guess so. And, you know, for going to pulls for the last 5 years, it was like, okay, you know, I've watched the tractor run. I know how it works, blah, 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 going on and on. After he told me that, I went straight home and I started watching videos. I was just nonstop watching videos. I was like, I can't embarrass myself. Didn't know what to expect because it's different than driving all the farm equipment, you know?
Yep.
But I had the gist of how a tractor worked. So I thought, you know, hey, this can't be too bad. It's just a clutch and a throttle, right? Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Dylan, I was sadly mistaken the first time I ran.
So go ahead with your story. I'm going to come back.
No, go ahead.
So that is actually something that I've always been curious about. I've grown up around this, around pulling, and been to lots and lots of pulls. So actually run me through your process on the line. Like whenever you're getting hooked to the sled, you know, building RPMs, like tell me what you're looking for and what you do. And actually, I don't know that we clarified, TJ runs a big diesel tractor. So anyway, just run me through your procedure. I've always been curious about that. So,
I mean, you know as well as I do, it's the same concept as what you guys do for sure. I mean, 100%. Tractor pulling is tractor pulling, but obviously you guys are able to watch the tractors ahead of you a lot faster and then go jump on and run out, where I'm sitting in line. It depends if you draw 1 or you draw 2 or 6 or 7 or whatever. So basically, I'd go ahead and get strapped in, and I'm sitting in line, so I can hardly see what's going on as far as what the tractors are doing ahead of me. That's usually what Brian does, or if Brian's running, then that's normally what I'm doing, trying to watch the track, see, maybe where the best spot's going to be, whatever. But pretty much your mind runs 90 to nothing is what I'm going to say. So, like, the simplest task of backing the tractor in, your head's just constantly running. Okay, did I do this? Did I do that? Did we do this? Are you second guessing yourself? You're always second guessing yourself. I don't care. I always do anyway. Am I in the right spot? Do I need to come off hard? Do I think I need to come off soft? Blah, blah, blah. But as far as sitting in the seat, what you're looking for, what you're feeling for, with this new clutch system that we got, as we're building RPMs, you can kind of feel it in your foot when she's ready. You're looking at the smoke, listening to the motor, feeling it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, tractor pulling, as far as in our aspect, you feel it in your butt.
Yeah.
That's honestly, that's the honest God truth. You can feel it in your hand. You can feel it in your butt. You know when she's ready.
Go ahead.
Some of your newer tractors, some guys in our class, it's not necessarily based on in our class because we're restricted on RPMs. But like when you jump into, say for instance, like the Pro Farm class or like your 4.1s, your Pro Stocks, they've got a set number that they want to leave on RPMs, boost, blah blah blah. They have a set number that they want to leave off of. With us, the tractors are 10 times more forgiving leaving off the line, so it's basically running off your feet. And feel, it's pretty much all feel. When you start letting off on the clutch and you can feel it starting to grab, you know right away whether she's ready or if you need to go ahead and push the clutch in and start over. You know what I mean?
What RPMs do you guys run on that class that you're?
So we run a max of 2450, I think is what they just ruled on this past winter. So we run 2450 because we're big block. Now your 466 guys, smaller cube motor, they get to run 3000.
Okay.
So it kind of evens, you know what I mean? It kind of evens the playing field.
Okay.
So, because if a big block, like we went down to Union City, Tennessee and ran with the Mid-South guys and we bumped it up a little bit and the tractor's totally different. So in our class, to make the class even with a big block versus the 466, you restrict the RPM limit a little bit, and that's what kind of evens them out. Now, it has its ups and it has its downs, depending on the track. Sometimes the 466 guys have the advantage because they can get up and go a lot faster. They just don't have the lug on the big end versus the big blocks. They can get up and go, and then we have that extra lug at the end, you know what I mean, to pull through. So it's even. Like the Alice guys, I don't know what cube those guys are. I want to say they're around the 540 range. I'm pretty sure. And then there used to be a couple Case tractors in there, and they were 540. So, it's across the board.
So you guys, for your class, you have to run your block and your sheet metal have to match, correct? Alice with Alice, Massey with Massey, Oliver with Oliver, Caterpillar. It's got to be a OEM block, correct?
That is correct. It has to be stock appearing.
Okay.
That explains the tractor wheel on the back, where most guys are running, your big shiny wheels like you see.
Yeah.
We have to have more of a stock appearing.
See, I didn't know that. I assumed that you guys always was running the steel wheels just because it was honestly just a more affordable class. I just assumed you guys stuck with the steel wheels to keep it affordable.
No, that's one of the rules. It has to be a stock appearing tractor.
Oh, I like that.
But you obviously know as well as I do, there's not a whole lot of things stock left on it.
Oh yeah. So
there is, but
with you guys as tires, and this might be just something that I'm ignorant on, but are you running like double cut, like farm tires, or are they out of the box pro tires? Because like with the garden tractors, we can buy a set of Carlisles and cut them, and you start with a bar tire and you can do a bunch of cutting, or you can just go straight to what we call a pro tire.
So that's what we run, so we run, you can do it however you want. I mean, you can buy, well, actually I'd have to read the rules on that because I'm
What are
not
you
sure
guys
about if
running?
you can buy it's basically, it started out as a tractor tire and it gets cut down to the tread pretty much.
See, in the
Now
garden
it's not a legit ag tire is the thing. So it's not like just some tractor tire that you pull off a tractor and cut it down and roll out. But it is, it's an actual pulling tire. It's kind of man, they got a name for it, and I wish you wouldn't ask me. Dadgummit. I have to get back with you on that because you got me stumbled on that one. But anyway, as far as like when you jump up a class, then yes, you can buy a bare tire and cut it down to whatever size cut you want, the height you want, and so forth. But as far as what's that?
Who does your tire cut? And do you guys do it in house or do you have someone else do it?
Actually, it's Traction Unlimited. They do the cutting.
Where are they at?
Could not tell you the guy's name or where it's at because that is something that Terry J does. So as far as that goes, I have no idea where they go.
Okay.
I know some of your upper guys use like Chad Mayhill and stuff, but
yeah. Our last guest, Zach, actually lives up the road from Chad Mayhill and was good buddies with him.
Oh, really? That's sweet.
Yep. Have you you ever heard of Caleb Peters?
I guess I have not. No.
He's up north. He does a lot of tire cutting on both big and small tractors. Big tractors and garden tractors. He's pretty dang sharp. No pun intended there.
Yeah. No, you were talking about the as far as the stock appearing. As far as chassis wise, I mean, a lot of these guys are starting to switch to like the tube frames. We're still running, the ag chassis. A lot of these guys are starting to switch to the tube frames and stuff, but that's allowed. That is allowed in the class, but as heavy as, I don't know, man, I have mixed feelings on the tube chassis, and Brian can agree with you too. They're just not as strong as what they put out to be.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got to cut weight, you got to cut weight. I mean, that's the main reason why most guys do it is so they got more movable weight. And then like your ag versus, what's that?
But also, if you got your tractor figured out, what's the point?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we could easily switch to, tube frame and run bags in the front and, have all that jazz. But
you can do that in your class?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep, you could.
So, so you're running a factory frame. Do you run tie bars on that tractor? I don't remember.
Yep.
Remember if you did or not?
Yep.
Okay. So what's what are you guys doing for a transmission? Is it still a cast transmission or is it component?
No, it's from Profab.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my next question.
It is a absolute pain in the butt to get in and out.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it is. It's very tight, and there's literally one. I know this is going to sound stupid, but there is one way in and one way out, and it is not forgiving.
Yeah, I understand. You get into these transmissions on these little Cubs, man, and there is a certain way to get things in and out of those.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, and we just did it last winter. Yeah, and I remember very, very vaguely. Before we did it, we both looked at each other and was like, this ain't going to be fun. And it wasn't.
Yeah. So I think it's funny whenever I was asking you about, like your on the line procedure and stuff, you talking about everything kind of going fast forward for you.
Mm-hmm.
it's different for me. Like whenever I'm sitting in line getting ready to go, I'm second guessing, do I have, my weight's in the right place, this, that. I'm watching everybody, and I'm a little worried, or, I'm kind of going through things a lot, not necessarily worried, just second guessing a lot. But it's like as soon as my helmet goes on and I push the tractor out to the track and hook it up and all that, like everything goes super slow for me. Like everything just slows down once I put the helmet on, and it's weird. And we had my friend or our friends Wesley and Heidi on, and they were, I don't know how many episodes back they were, but Heidi mentioned, I just feel like I transport from one end to the other.
That is 120% how I feel.
Yes, whenever I run my altered down at Greenville, that's how it was. Like I got my helmet on, everything went real slow in my head until I took off, and then it was like, oh, I'm here. Everything went good. But it's just a weird feeling for me too.
So now that I've, ran quite a bit now for a couple years now, first time I ever ran, it was quite funny. I was an absolute nervous wreck, and, Brian just kept saying, it's going to be all right. You're fine. You can do it. And he said, if I didn't think you can do it, you wouldn't be doing it. And I was like, that kept making me feel better. I'm like, okay, we're good. And then I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. I got to get it off the line. I'm like, I don't know if I can get it off the line. Well, here's the funny story. So depending on the track, that track that we was at up there in Greenville, Illinois, it has kind of a slope there on the starting line side. So when you pull the chain tight and you let off the brake, it tends to want to roll back. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. It varies on different tracks. Well, on that track, it did. And, dude, my mind was running 90-0, and I'm sitting there and I'm building boost, and it's doing its thing. And I got ready to take off, and before I even knew it, because it was almost like I blacked out, I happened to look down at the last second and realized that my foot was still on the left brake. And out of the corner of my eye, I see Brian running, on the side, telling me to take my foot off the brake. Because, I don't know, until you strap in a 2,000 horsepower tractor, 2,000 plus, it's pushing now maybe 2,800. But when you strap into that bad boy, a lot of things run through your head. And the last thing I was thinking about was my foot on the brake. And all I seen him wave, and he was pointing down at my foot, and I was like, oh, yep, foot's off the brake, foot's off the clutch at the same time, and here we go. It was like saddle up, and then next thing I know, it felt like I blinked, and I was at the end, and I was like, holy cow, I just did that. And then I stalled the tractor because my foot was shaking so bad, I let off the clutch when I took off. And then there Brian was with a big grin on his face laughing at me because my foot was shaking so bad.
I can't say I'd be any better.
Dude, I still to this day, I still to this day have the jitters.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I could only imagine.
Yeah.
I definitely get it. I run my buddy Mike's 50 cube alcohol tractor, and that's kind of how I was the first time I got on it, last year. It's an open RPM alcohol burner, and, I was taking it for a spin, and I looked over at him, I revved her up where I thought it needed to be. I looked over at him, and he's, pointing up more. I'm like, more? Really? This thing ain't going to come apart? It was quite a ride. So I can imagine 2,000 horse.
Well, that's the weird thing is, the slightest little bit of your hand movement, if like you come off the throttle just a little bit, you're done. I mean, you're done right in the water. I mean, and that's what I was more so concerned about more than anything was as I was going down the track, was I going to accidentally pull back? Just, because
out of habit,
instinct. Yeah. And, you watch some of these hooks and you see tractors get squirrely. I mean, it happens, but all that stuff starts running through your head. And then when you let off the throttle, or when you let off the clutch, it's like, oh, here we go. Yeah. And then I took that ride in Anna, and that was not very fun.
Well, I was going to get on that. Yeah, tell us about that. I don't think I've got the video anymore, but it was wild.
Yeah, I still have the video.
I want you to send it to me. I'm going to post it with this.
So that tractor there in the light class, it's to the point now. We've tried to make the argument that 8,000 pounds. I'm sure you've watched the light super stocks.
Yep.
You know how crazy they get, right?
Yep.
It's basically a bucket Bronco with no weight on it, because we're only allowed, I think we just got the tractor down to where we can add one, with me driving it, it's one 100 and a 75, I believe, or maybe two 100s now. So you've only got 200 pounds of weight, and it's on the very tip nose. And if you get on any type of biting track, it's sit in the seat and hang on to it, because it's going to take you for a ride. And that's exactly what it did in Anna, and I was not expecting it because I didn't think the track was honestly that good. But she
I'd agree
definitely
with
was.
you that night. I didn't think it was that good either. And apparently you found the spot that it was biting.
Well, the bad part that happened is when it come off the line, it come up the first time, which was fine because it rode the wheelie bar a little bit, which is fine. As long as the back tires don't unload, you're good. Well, whenever it come down, it come right back up, and that's whenever it unloaded the back tires. And when it unloaded the back tires, obviously it went off to one side, or the one side grabbed, and then she just started bucking. And I thought it was going to pull through because the sled box had already moved just enough. I felt it starting to come on. I thought it was going to go. But just like I told you earlier, once you lose that RPM, she's done. She's not coming back. And I wasn't paying attention to where I was at on the track. I probably could have let out and pulled back and did it all over again, dropped a gear. I don't know. You know as well as I do, as soon as you get done pulling, you're always like, well, I could have done this. I should have done that. I could have done this. And it was just one of those deals where it just wasn't my night. I mean, we underestimated the track for one, went too high of a gear, and bad driving. I'll go ahead and say it was my fault. I should have done a little bit better, maybe rode the brake a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know what else I could have done. Everything happened so fast. I mean,
didn't you come back in the heavier class, though, and win it, or was that Brian's boy?
That was Brian's son. He actually come back and won, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the heavy class is, it always runs A to B. I mean, because there's enough weight on it that we can move around regardless of what the track's like. You can throw it in a big gear and just, it runs A to B every time. Now, the light class is where it's kind of a coin flip.
Yeah. Well, so this next question is normally Sam's question, but the cold medicine got her. She's snoozing.
That's understandable.
What's the name of the tractor you pull?
So that's a funny question. So we don't have a name for it, but so obviously Brian Curry and the Curry family, I should say, not just Brian, the Curry family. Brian is the Pulaski County coroner. Yes, he is the Pulaski County coroner. And the tractor's never had a name. I mean, one day we was talking, I was like, Brian, we need to name this tractor. He was like, yeah, he said, I've always thought about it, but just never got around to it. And he said, nah, I just never put a name on it. He was like, but one name that we was going to do, and it's still a possibility, was Last Call.
Okay.
Because obviously he's the corner, so he's the last call to get. You see where I'm going there?
Yep. I'm pretty sure there's a hearse, like 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive puller out there that's called Last Responder.
So I don't know if you knew this. Are you familiar with any of the Super Farm tractors?
Buddy, the sheet metal classes all kind of run together for me.
Okay, so the Super Farm class is just above what we are.
Yeah.
There's a guy in there that pulls, and his tractor's name, it's a 1066. It is called Checking Out. I'm sure you've heard the name.
Yep.
Guess what he does for a living?
What's he do?
He is a funeral director.
Oh,
that is why that is why the tractor's name is Checking Out, because everybody that he sees is already checked out.
Yeah.
So that's where we kind of come up with the last call thing with the coroner deal, and then that guy being a funeral director, and yeah.
Who is it? I'm drawing a blank now.
Anderson. His last name's Anderson.
Okay. Yep.
Shoot. Last name's Anderson. I cannot remember his first name. Brian, maybe?
Yeah.
I think his name's
I
Brian.
know who it is. I'm drawing a blank too. Brett? Is it Brett?
No, Brett Anderson used to run with us. That's a different tractor. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know the checking out tractor. I see it at Picnickville every year.
Yeah, it's ironic that guy's last name's Anderson too, but yeah. It's a beautiful tractor though. Beautiful.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of ironic that his tractor's name was checking out and then he's a funeral director.
Yeah. I get the no name thing though. Sam can build. She can come up with a name and build around it. You know, right. I can't come up with nothing. I don't know what to name this new tractor. We just did name my Alice. You know, naming them's tough for me, but I don't want to just throw something random at them. I want them to have, a little bit more meaning.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, the reason why a lot of people have, names on their stuff is because there's, like our tractor, it's a 7240. There may be, like in the super farm class, there's like 2 or 3 7240. So you can't just call it a 7240.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but luckily enough, in our pulling league, there's only one 7240. So we can just call it the 7240.
Well, and it's just the same as like, monster trucks out there. Everybody knows Gravedigger. Everybody knows Bigfoot. Whenever I was a kid, I knew, Screaming Demon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I sadly don't know, but I wish I could know how it was. I watched some of the old videos and stuff like Forrest has sent me, but
yeah,
just what a time to be alive. That's like I said earlier. I wish I could go back.
There's all kinds of YouTube videos from like the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. And I actually watched one the other night where they was doing an interview with Tom down in Kentucky. And I'd happened to seen Forrest like the day after that. And he wanted me to send him that video. He thought that was really cool because he hadn't seen nothing like that in a while.
Yeah.
But
that's pretty cool.
It's neat. It's neat to see, the guys you idolize not running freaking roll cages too.
Yeah. And then just to think that like the farm show used to not have a smoke tube.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to think, like just running that tractor, for instance, running down the track and thinking back in the day, they used to run similar horsepower with no cage.
Yeah. And it's standard now. Like,
yeah.
If you 100%. See one without a cage, it's just weird. Even just a rollover bar in the farm class.
Sure. 100%.
But
yeah, back then it was, some of them wore a helmet. A lot of them wore open face helmets.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like not necessarily wearing a helmet, really. And then you see guys wearing just a lap belt, and it's like, man, I just could not imagine wearing a lap belt and going for a ride.
Yeah. Do you listen to the Breaking Barriers podcast?
I've listened to a couple of theirs. I haven't. I'm going to say no, but I have listened in on a little bit of it, but not a whole lot, no.
Those are interesting to me, too. I really like listening to him. He does a lot of guys from Iowa, but, like, I don't recognize most of their names, but it is so cool to hear them talk about the history and, like, whenever, the guy's throwing a fit, I don't want to put a roll cage on my tractor, and
yep.
And the introduction of tie bars and just how things progressed.
Sure.
That one's a really good one to listen to for nostalgia and how guys got things started.
Well, that's like our class, for instance, how things have came, like we're running water injection now.
Yeah.
Water injection a long time ago was not necessarily really a thing, I guess you can say. I don't know. I'm not going to say for sure. I can't verify that, but it's becoming a big thing for us now. The new technology on water injection, the new technology as far as like data loggers, like watching our data loggers after every pass. Being able to record our passes.
Would you believe me if I told you that data loggers are really big in garden tractors too?
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I don't have them, but a lot of guys that run super stocks and stuff at the indoor pools are running them. It's a pretty common thing. I've not got into that yet. I'm going to do some sniffing around at this next pull and try to learn a little bit up on those.
Well, I mean, it takes the guesswork out of everything. Like say for instance, just this last year, not last year, the year before, you know, we was noticing some temperature changes, and it's like, okay, well, blah blah blah, went on and on. Well, come to find out, the head was cracked.
Oh,
the data logger told us that.
Oh,
so with that being said, we had to take the radiator off, and now we're running dry block. But if it wasn't for the data logger, we would have never known that. You know?
Yeah, you'll have to go with me to one of these big garden tractor pulls. I think it'd blow your mind.
Yeah, I wanted to make the one in the coin. But
yeah, that'd have been a good one for you.
Yeah, I didn't get to. I wanted to. Me and Clay was talking about that, and I really wanted to go up there, but just didn't get the chance to.
Yeah.
But no, you'd really be surprised on the data logger and how much it actually helps you and how much you can actually learn about the tractor.
Oh, I
what
believe
it likes
it.
And what it doesn't.
And
you know
that's
what I mean?
why I'm wanting to do some talking to some people. Just I noticed where, you know, I've only pulled my Alter down the track twice. This next weekend's going to be my third time on it. You know, I just did get it, but I could already tell just between the two times I pulled it, like I felt like I left the line at different RPMs, and I think I could dial in myself and the way I do things a little bit better with them. But like I said, I'm going to do some talking this next time to some guys and get some input on them because it's got my curiosity now.
Well, I mean, that's like, you know, in our aspect. So in our aspect, we're limited on RPM. So basically ours comes down to whether we weight the tractor right and what gear we pick. If we don't pick the right gear, I mean, it's the same thing. You know, the other guys, the bigger guys, you know, they're running off gear selection too, but they have the RPMs to back up the bigger gears when it doesn't fit for them. Whereas with us, we're limited on RPM. So if we pick a tall gear and we can't shake it, we're screwed. You see what I'm saying? Some of them other higher horsepower motors can shake it, you know, and run through it.
Well, and that's where you get into stuff kind of like my summer pulling with my 16 horse and our 12 horse tractors. You know, they're governed. We, you know, like Sam's 12 horse is turning 4,000. Well, we got to have that gear matched up right, or we don't have enough, or we got too much.
Yeah.
You know, you got to match them up, or you're just pissing in the wind.
Yeah.
But
that's like, and it's weird too, because, you know, on some tracks we're liable to run 28 mile an hour, 29 mile an hour, whatever. And then there may be some tracks where we run 25. And 25, I know 3 mile an hour difference doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that is big on distance.
Dude, my 16 horse is normally about 5.5 mile an hour. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier today, but my 16 horse runs 5.5 mile an hour, and it don't sound like much, but whenever you're sitting on it, you know, you can tell it. But I got on that Alter and I run 10 mile an hour on it, and it way different. It is way different. And there's guys running the super stock garden tractors that, 15 mile an hour, the Pro V's 15, 16, you know, that's a ride on a garden tractor.
Oh, well, sure. I mean, yeah, especially if you went from 5 mile an hour to 15.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of wheel speed are you guys getting? Do you know that?
Well, it's funny you say that because the sensor for that isn't working, and we've never. I mean, we don't know our ground speed just by what the sled man says, but no, we have no idea. I would just throw a guess out 50, 60 mile an hour. I'm just throwing a guess out.
Yeah.
I don't know. But a lot of the power is getting put to the ground, so it's not a whole much over of what our ground speed is. Because, I mean, yeah, we're spinning, but we're not blowing the tires off like the 4.1s or the Pro stocks, you know. And another thing, too, is, like, listening to the tires. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but...
No, it don't. I get what you mean.
Yeah, when you're sitting in the seat, you can hear the tires rumbling and grabbing and biting, and it's I don't know, it's indescribable. It really is.
So this will probably be a good time for the next question. So who builds your motor? Do you guys do that stuff in-house? Do you have someone else do it? Do you just do the maintenance? Tell us about your motor and tractor.
So if possible, we try to do as much as we can to save on costs because obviously it's very expensive to run all year and work on it all summer. We try to do the least amount possible as far as in-house, but if it's anything major, the power plant actually is built by 300 Plus Performance in Arthur, Illinois. Luke Miller, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of him. Mm-hmm. He's got a couple pro stocks out running. He's got Trailblazer, which is a Massey. He's got another pro stock out running, which it's running out in Wisconsin somewhere. And he builds, I can't think of the freaking name now. The Massey that runs with us that you met down in Atlanta. Fowler's, yes. Todd Fowler and Lori Fowler.
Yep.
They work on his tractor too, which he works on Goodersall's tractor as well, and many, 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 many others. He is an absolute freaking guru when it comes to a pulling motor.
All right. So,
but as far as us, yeah, we try to do as much as we can in house. And as far as like freshening the motor up and things like that, we obviously send it off. Or dyno work, we send it up there. Like we went up there for injectors and some fine tuning whenever we started this water injection. And then obviously we took it up to Luke and he hooked up all the water and everything like that and got us a new set of injectors we were trying out. And we ended up taking it over, which was a cool experience. Also, was taking it to the dyno. I don't know if you've ever been to a dyno before.
Not on big tractors. I've been around. Like our motors on dynos, and that in itself's wild. So is it a chassis dyno or is it just an engine dyno? Or
so basically, you cut the tractor in half and you take the front half. So basically, it's a rolling chassis in the front half. Obviously, basically from I'm going to say the back half of the block forward, it goes, and then they hook it up to their own clutch system there. And it's all ran. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the name of Ken Crowder that runs for Shad Diesel Superstock four-wheel drive truck.
Yep.
So he's the one that runs the dyno up there in Attica, Indiana.
Okay.
So that's where we took it up, and that was a super, super cool experience. I had never got the chance to go up there. He tries to go up there, I don't know, once every couple of years or so, and I finally got to go, and dude, if you ever get the chance, that is freaking cool.
Oh, I'd love to.
I'll have to send you the video of it on the dyno, but it was super freaking cool. But a lot of things can go wrong really quick too.
Yeah.
Especially when you're sitting there and, he's bringing the motor up and he's got the clutch pack set on super heavy and it's sitting there raring down and then all of a sudden it takes off and it's kind of nerve wracking sitting there.
So, you mentioned earlier that it was a wet block and it's now a dry block. What caused you to do that and how did that help you? Or do you know much about that?
Well, it was because of the head problem.
Okay.
The head's not junk, but it's got a crack in it.
Yeah.
And the only way to avoid that was to get rid of the radiator. So the only other choice we had was to either rebuild from start or go dry block. And it was kind of thrown up in the air whether it was going to work or not. But, a lot of guys are running dry blocks now. I'm pretty sure 90% of tractors now are running dry blocks as far as in the upper classes. So, which they all are. I'm pretty sure 90% of them are. I don't think there's any. Unless you get down to maybe like the Pro Farm class, maybe. But I don't know. We didn't know if it was going to work as far as temperature wise. We didn't know if we were going to be able to make 2 passes a night, That was going to be the main factor. But actually, the tractor does 10 times better now, honestly. It actually gets warmer now, and she comes alive a lot better than it has in years past, for sure. Would have never guessed that.
So do you guys run any kind of head hold down, or are you guys putting that much boost to it that you need to do stuff like a girdle, or?
No. The only safety features we have is a turbo blanket.
Okay.
And we got a scatter blanket over the transmission, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I'm assuming single turbo?
Yes, that's correct. It's 3-inch outlet.
Okay.
I'm almost positive you can run just about whatever you want on the inlet side. I want to say ours is 3 in, 3 out. That's mostly what I guess you want to call it, kind of like a box charger, but it's not. Most guys, like your super farm class is a box charger. It's 3 in, 3 out. And then like your 4-1s are are 4.1 in or 4.1, and then you got your 5-inch class, 5-inch, and then your Big Daddy Pro stocks are just whatever you can slap on top of that bad boy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen one of those turbos in person, but they are huge.
Yes, they are.
They are massive.
So you mentioned that head was cracked. Is it a billet head, or is it just a stock cast, or is it stock recast, or how's the head on that?
Yeah, it's just stock.
Okay. Do you guys do anything different in the chambers, or do you know much about that side of things?
That would be a Luke question.
Okay.
As far as deep down inside, that would be more so of a Luke question. As far as that goes, I'm not 100% positive. I don't want to lie to you.
Oh, no. So you mentioned water injection. You know much about that side of things, or is that a Luke question as well?
What questions do you have on that? As far as like where we're squirting or how many inlets we're squirting?
Well,
2 ports?
No, it's more, I know obviously all pulling tractors anymore run water injection, the big tractors.
Yeah, or intercoolers. Most of them run both.
Yeah. So it's to get it cooled down, but also you're introducing water in a combustion chamber.
Yeah. Basically, you're just toning the fire down.
Right. I guess that's where my confusion is I know you're kind of toning the fire down, but you're making a big steam engine, aren't you?
So technically, it actually lugs the tractor more.
Okay.
So as far as water injection, you're not technically cooling the motor. I mean, you're saving the motor. It keeps it cooler, but you're not doing the same thing as what an intercooler is going to do. An intercooler is introducing cold air.
Yep.
Where water is just basically cooling the fire.
Okay.
So
you guys are on an intercooler though too, correct?
No, we do not.
Okay.
Now the PPL guys, they do.
Okay. That's where. Okay.
Yeah, there's a big. It's not a big jump, but it is a big jump. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And there's so many. Dude, there's so many. When you jump into like smaller classes like us, there's so many freaking rules in different clubs that it's insane.
Well, and that's kind of why I'm glad I've got you on here is because, just like I said a little bit ago, the sheet metal classes, what I call the sheet metal classes, they run together for me.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. There's just certain.
Because this one can run this turbo, but that one can't. And it makes them kind of run together. There's so many of them anymore.
So that's like the super farm class. So like if you take a super farm tractor and slap another turbo on it, you can run a 4.1.
Okay.
So I want to say there's an RPM difference too, but it's minor things. But you're obviously running the tractor 10 times harder. Where with us, well, I'll just say this. With us, it's hard to run anywhere we want to. Like if we wanted to go to Florida, or if we wanted to go to South Carolina, or if we wanted to go to Wisconsin, we can't just go do that. Where the guys that run like 4.1s and the pro stocks and the super farms, they can go just about anywhere because all the rules are pretty much the same across the board as far as in those classes.
So that's kind of what we run into in a sense. You've heard me talk about NQS, NGTPS, whatever. There's the indoor stuff that I'm running like that, the altered in.
Yeah.
That's what I like about those is a stock altered class is pretty well the same across the board. A super stock 50 cube, there's guys that'll run the indoor series and like go out to Pennsylvania and Ohio and stuff. That's the same class that the ITPA runs, same rules.
Yeah.
And whenever you get into talking like Sam's 12 horse, that's not the case. We're fortunate enough around here where we're at, we can go over to Egypt Mills and pull and down to Smithland and pull and a couple places around here and pull. But like if we wanted to take off and go on a little trip with hers, we're probably going to have to make a couple changes if we can even get hers in because, the smaller classes are about the same as what you're saying. There's not a good, like, across-the-board rule set for any of them, and no one wants to get on the same page.
Well, prime example. So we've been seeing where the Mid-South guys are, they're pulling down in Tennessee and Kentucky and Missouri that are fairly close pulls. And obviously we was running points, so it was kind of hard for us to jump off a points race to go run down there and run the risk of tearing up. And then, that screws up the whole point season.
Yeah.
Last year we didn't run points, so we decided to run down there and run with them one time to see if, how things were, because their rules were a little bit different, but we thought that our tractor would match up to what their rules were, and we thought it would have been nice. And then if we ran with them and enjoyed it, we would have another, 10 hooks that were closer to home, instead of going 4 hours north.
Yep.
Well, we got down there, and I was talking to the president of the club, and he was telling me all the rules, and I told Brian about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah," he said, "Yeah, that should be fine. We should be pretty competitive with them, because we do pretty good with where we're at." So we went down there, and when we got down there, and the guy pulls up beside us in his hauler, and he unloads his tractor, and you could obviously tell it was a hot farm. So we're sitting there, and we unboom the tractor, and blah blah blah, and the next thing I know, the guy gets a cooler out. And he brings over 2 50-pound bags of ice. And we were like, that's kind of odd. Maybe he's not a hot farm. So the guy comes over, and we walked over and talked to him, introduced ourselves and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, so what's the general rules here for the hot farm class? And he was like, oh, we run intercooler and blah, blah, blah. We run 3,000 RPMs and this and that, going on and on. And me and Brian just kind of looked at each other and was like, well, we're in trouble. Because that's when you add that intercooler, that's a totally different ball game, dude. And you're running 3,000 RPMs.
That's a big change.
That's a really big change. And even being a big block, it doesn't matter. You add that intercooler, and that's a totally different ball game. And we actually got second place, and it wasn't that bad. The tractor ran pretty good, but
definitely
running a dry block. Yeah, but now we're running that dry block, and running that higher RPM, it just got the motor a little bit hotter. And Luke seems to think that that's not going to be healthy over a year's time. So
I would say. So you mentioned the Mid-South pullers.
Mm-hmm.
Have you run across a tractor called a Little Screamer down there?
So me and Forrest was actually talking about that. And
yeah.
I don't think it runs with the Mid-South guys anymore.
Oh, really? Last I knew it did. I'm wanting to find out when and where it's pulling. I want to go watch. I want Forrest to buy it back so bad.
Trust me, I have been hounding him for it.
I want him to really bad.
I want to say it runs down in Tennessee somewhere, but it's a different organization.
Okay.
It's not the same organization. And I don't even know if the tractor's still, man, I don't know. I don't know about that tractor anymore, because it's been, it's changed hands probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. I had it tracked down. I'd have to go back and look. I had it tracked down a few months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't remember. So if anyone knows anything about the Little Screamer tractor, reach out, please.
Yeah,
it's down around Tennessee somewhere. It's old Screaming Demon tractor that was local to me and TJ.
I got a guy right now that would probably love to see it run one more time.
Who's that?
Forrest.
Oh, me too. And that'd be a fun trip, us loading up and going watching it.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing any pulls with the old bush sled?
So I've watched videos, and Brian was telling me about that. But no, that was way before my time.
Dude, my childhood is Screaming Demon and the bush sled. I would love to see that tractor hooked to the bush sled again.
I don't even know if that sled's still even running.
It is around. They actually talk about it on the Breaking Barriers podcast from time to time. I want to say that the guy that hosts that, Gary, I want to say that he runs a light limited super.
Mm-hmm.
I might be speaking out of turn there, but he said that they broke it out in one of the podcasts a while back. So they broke it out and hooked his class to it. And he's like, the difference in pulling that sled versus like a Bauer type sled nowadays is unbelievable. He's like, that thing is heavy from the get-go, where these new sleds are, you're floating and they hit you.
You don't
he's like, that was a wild
system.
experience.
You don't have the bag system and the time system. You don't have the trip marks. You don't have none of that.
Yep.
I'm sure the grouser bars are probably 10 times thicker on that bush sled than they are on these new sleds.
Well, and again, I just remember that from when I was a kid. I'd love to put my eyes on it now that I understand what's what and just see how different everything is. Because, I remember it was a pretty inclined sled, and I remember it had the 6-pack of bush cans that rode up it,
So I have a question for you. Speaking of, while we're on the topic of sleds, I'm glad you said that. So I know you guys pull with that one sled that I seen down there in Owen.
The yellow one or the other one?
No, the guy that comes down.
Yeah,
I can't think of
Stubborn Mule.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel much of a difference in the sleds, like how your tractor acts, I guess you could say?
Abso-freaking-lutely, dude.
Okay.
So, my Alice hooked to that sled, hooked to our yellow sled.
Yeah.
It's about the same way. It's heavy off the start, and it stays heavy the whole way. You can tell it's heavy. Now, the Stubborn Mule, you can get it going, and, I've had countless times hooked to that sled, and in my head, I'm like, oh man, I got this. I'm going to win this one. And then it just hits me hard, and it'll shut you down pretty hard.
That's
but yeah, you'll think you're on a good run, and then it'll hit you. The one that I pulled down at Greenville, I know somebody listening to this they're screaming at the phone right now. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, that one, I felt it hit pretty hard too. It was light, and I felt like I was on a good run on Saturday down there, and yep, it just hit you and said, nope, you're done.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Now, the yellow sled at our club, it's like I'm pulling a freaking brick. It's heavy, and it stays heavy.
Yeah, I noticed that at Pulaski. That was kind of hard to get off the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sled that was in Anna, the Heaven Bound?
Oh, yeah.
So that's more so like our primary sled. That's the one that follows us around most of the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but see, his sled is very, very forgiving in a way. It's easy to get off the line, and it's kind of a gradual load, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
The tractor stays loaded.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, whenever the box top's off, you can feel it, but it's kind of like a little bit of a shove, and then you're pretty much done from there. But I'll never forget it. We went up to Nashville, and there was the sled that runs the track up there for the showdown that we go to.
Yeah, well, that's one of Bauer's, isn't it?
No, that one's not a Bauer sled. That's shoot, I can't think of the company's name.
That's not Decision Maker, is it?
Maybe.
I don't think it. You sure it ain't Bauer?
No, it's not Bauer. No.
Oh, good grief! Now you're gonna have me looking it up.
Yeah, man, I don't know. But anyway, it was funny because Brian was like, now with this sled, he was like, you're gonna have to get up and go. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you're gonna have to get up and go. He said, because this thing's gonna hit you, and it's gonna hit you harder than Larry's does. And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, you'll see. He said, but I'm just telling you. He said, get up and go. He said, get going as fast as you can. I was like, okay. So I did, and I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I got about 100 foot out, and it felt like the sled wasn't even back there. Like I got it off the line smooth, and she was trucking, and then I got about 200 feet, and it smacked me so hard, and I was like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And then it was just instant. It was just run, and then boom, you're done.
I've got a really good buddy of mine that I pull with. He actually just got a job running the Decision Maker sled. And I was really, really hoping that he was going to be out our way so we'd go visit him, but he ain't going to get to just yet.
Yeah, that's one other big thing that you got to pay attention to in tractor pulling is like in what sled you got, because our sled's we're liable to run 4 different sleds, and that's where those 466 motors really come alive, is because they can get up and freaking run, because they're 3,000 RPM, so they're screaming. Where we're running, and we're trying to get that last little bit of lug, at the end where they can't, and it smacks us, and it's just, if you ain't there at 200 foot, you're done. I mean, and you'd be surprised, man, on how much you can actually feel the tractor move whenever that box tops out.
X factor.
Yes, you're right. Yep, because they got a green one and a red one.
Yep.
This one was a green one.
Yep. I pulled up a video I had from last year with Esden hooked to it, and he's hooked to the green X Factor one.
Yep, and that one smacks the crap out of you. Hard.
Yeah.
It's not a constant load, and the grouser bars are different too. Larry's are different than what that one is. It's a different setup underneath, and that makes a big difference too. That plays a big factor.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I like studying the sleds to see how they're made. They're all, you make a good point. They're all different. They'll react different.
They are, and it also depends on the operator too. If
Yeah.
the operator, I mean, that's the biggest thing right there is the operator. I mean, you got somebody like Larry that's pulled with us all season long. He knows how we run. He knows whenever we're in trouble, when we're not in trouble. He knows when to hit the brake, when to pull the guillotine. He's comfortable with us. And then you get somebody that doesn't know us, and then they kind of get wishy-washy, and then they want to load the piss out of you to slow you down, and it's, it kind of kills your run a little bit. But, it is what it is. It's even for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't benefit our tractor versus the smaller cube tractors.
Right. Let's see.
I've been meaning to ask you too.
Yeah.
We was talking on the phone earlier. Do you guys run points race?
No. Well, I'm going to ask that for you here in a little while, and we can touch back on that a little bit.
I was just now thinking about that earlier, and I was like, well, I'll touch base on that because I was just curious if you guys did that or not.
We'll go ahead and hit that one. So, I have asked every guest we've had about points, and the reason I've always done that is I just want to hear opinions from everybody. We talked about introducing points into our club a little bit, and there were some people that just, no, I don't think that'd be good. We've had some guests say that, some of the clubs they pulled, no, it's not good. We've had others say that that's the best thing ever. It adds more friendly rivalry. It makes it a little more competitive.
Sure.
My outlook on it is the way I feel is if there's a dozen guys that are supporting us all throughout the year and they want to pay a little fee, then we should be able to give back to them. That's kind of how I feel there. So, no, we haven't been doing points, but I've kind of taken it upon myself. We're going to try 2 classes this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe one of the classes is going to be one of the mini rod classes, and the other one, I think we decided on either the 16 horse or the twins. I can't confirm, and I'm the one in charge of that, so I'll figure it out.
Because for your kid classes, it's kind of your kid classes. You want to just keep it fun, but for your adults and your middle-aged guys, you got to add some kind of competition in there to make it fun. I mean, it's still fun, but
we're trying 2 classes this year and going to see how hard it is to keep up on, and if there's enough interest and blah, 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 and just see how it goes. I think the people that we pull with, it's going to end up being a really fun thing because it's friendly. It's friendly jabbing and poking at each other. I think for me, whenever it gets to where that isn't the case, then we'll just shut that down. But I want to try it out and see how the pullers take it, and I want to try it out and just see how big of a pain in the ass it actually is. And, it may be something we try to do 5 classes next year, and I want to ease into it. There's no way that I want to try to keep up on all of our classes this year and it be too chaotic and not want to continue doing it. So, to answer the question, no, we don't, but we are going to try it this year with a few. And I'm pretty excited about that. Do you guys run for points?
Yes. So, it's a double-sided sword. So, like, our season is always based off points. I mean, that's our club.
Yep.
So, in past years, I would say Brian won points. I would say probably, I want to say like 3 or 4 years in a row. So he decided that we was just not going to chase the points. We was just going to run when we wanted to, because it's kind of weird because the first part of the season's, during wheat harvest, and we have a few pulls then. So that takes away from wheat harvest and planting. And then in the later part of the season, that's whenever harvest season starts again. So it kind of contradicts itself again. So you're giving up time when you should be working to go pulling.
Yep.
It's kind of one of those weird deals. So there for a while, we would go to the pulls we wanted to, and it was still fun. Guys still ran points, and it kind of sucks in a way because when you take guys like us that wasn't running points and we shake the order up a little bit, we're still gaining points that the guys who are running points couldn't get.
Yeah.
So it shakes the order up a little bit, but we missed enough hooks where it didn't matter, as far as the points race went. But I will tell you, in 2024, me, Brian, and Landon, and Wyatt, and Terry J, we come to the decision that we was going to try to go for points one more time. Before we was going to try it one more time. If we won, we was done. If we didn't win, we might try it again. And I'm going to tell you, it is flat out exhausting.
Oh, I bet.
It is flat out exhausting. And, from hook number 1, which was during wheat season, there was guys taking the tractors and we were staying back at home cutting wheat, and then the later part of the season, some of us would stay back and start harvest. And then while the tractor was running, and just the running 2 or 3 nights a week, you'd get home at midnight, 1 o'clock, and then you were back up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, getting the tractor ready for the next night. And then you're going another 3 or 4 hours away from home. So that part, it was quite exhausting, but I will say we did end up winning points that year, and it's fun. It's fun, especially with the group of guys that we got, with Todd Fowler and them.
Mm-hmm.
We were battling back and forth. He would get a first, and then we would get like a second, and then we would win 2 hooks in a row, and then he would come back and win, and it just...
That adds some fun to it.
Yes, it does. And then you added in Gail, and then there was a couple other guys. We were all just going back and forth, and it just makes it fun, and then the strategizing comes into it. You're not just going out and hooking. You got to think about it. Okay, I'm ahead by 20 points. I'm just going to make an A to B run. I'm not going to try nothing.
Yeah.
And it just throws different factors in there. I mean, you really got to pay attention to where you're at, where you're going, when you're running points. I think you guys would like it. I think it would bring a whole different level of competition to you guys' deal if you did.
I agree, and that's kind of why I wanted to do it. I wrote the rules for that, and I actually brought in some of the rules from back when I raced 4-wheelers in the point series there. So we had a deal where just a couple random ones were double points, and we did a deal where you could drop one. So that's where, like, if you hooked and you just had a complete crap run, that could be your drop for the year. Everyone has to have a drop one.
Sure.
But so, I mean, that's the same with, or the way that would be is like, the guy that's run 5 pulls this year and got 5 first places, well, he just drops one of his first places. Or he could have had a second thrown in there. He drops that second. But you could also have the other guy that's trying to compete and doing real consistent and then just has one awful run or can't make it. Well, that's his drop, and he can still stay hanging. And then you get in a double points deal, That's where you got to try to really be on your game, and, that could shake up the list altogether.
You're exactly right. And prime example, last year, Todd Fowler himself, he was winning points by, I want to say, at least a full hook. And we had 3 hooks left in the year. I think we were running like 3rd or 4th. I think we was running like 4th because we wasn't running for points. So we was just, going when we wanted to. And there was a real tight race between him and Gale. Well, we went up to, we was in Salem, and in the light class, he hooked, and his injection pump took a crap.
I remember that.
And obviously he had to miss the heavy class, and he ended up not getting an injection pump until the last hook. And just for that one instance, since we had 3 hooks back to back, that cost him the points race.
Oh, man. And see, that's the downfall of it, is when someone's got some tough luck like that, can't get their stuff back together, then, that's the part that kind of blows.
And the crappy part is like, so, you get show up points, you get hook points, and then you get place points.
Yeah.
Where Todd couldn't do it is his tractor wouldn't run enough to get to the sled, hook up, and bump the sled. Because if he could have bumped the sled, he would have been fine. He would have finished out the season and then just barely scraped by. But with his injection pump down, he obviously could not do that. And that's where he kind of he didn't get screwed because that's part of it, but he worked hard all freaking year, and he was doing so good. And then it come down to one little part.
Yeah.
And that's I guess that's the sucky part about points, because you work hard all year and it comes down to one hook and then your whole season's trashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't, like at the end of the year, like when you win, like say for instance the year we won, we got a nice jacket and a trophy. So
I was getting her to ask what kind of prizes you guys did.
Well, I mean, you get a little bit of money too, but it's not nothing. I mean, you're not gonna make a living off of it.
There ain't a person pulling a tractor that's doing it for the money. We all know that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the satisfaction of doing something you love and then doing good at it.
For me, I've said it many, many, many times on here. I've said it in general. As much as I'm not a people person, the people are why I like pulling.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you've seen what guys we pull with, like Todd and Lori. They're down to earth, great people.
Oh, definitely. They're very good people. They
live 2.5 hours away from us, and both the nights that we had our kids, she sent a text message saying, I hope everything's great with you guys. I can't wait to see them this summer. It's little stuff like that. It's like, damn, that's pretty cool.
Well, I get it, man. I talked to a buddy for almost an hour on the phone last night that's from Pennsylvania. I talked to another buddy pretty well every day that's from Canada. I've got friends that I've made running this indoor stuff that's from all over the place. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's just neat. You get to be so tight with some of these people, and they're many hours away. And the thing is what's wild is I'd do anything for some of these people that I could, obviously, within reason, but.
Well, it's just like the guys that pull in our class. If something goes wrong, usually I'm there to help. I don't care. If you beat me, so be it. That's fair and square. We're friends until we hook to the sled.
Yeah.
Once we hook to the sled, it's straight competition. But as soon as they unhook me, I'm there to congratulate you, and they're there to congratulate me. That's
and
just
at the same time, there's been people I've had on here, the Rudes. They're the kind of people that'll help you get your tractor back together just so you could go beat them. That everyone wants to beat each other on top of their game.
Yeah, well, that's like the night his injection pump went down. I had just got off the track, pulled it to the trailer, and we hadn't even got us prepared for the heavy class. And we went straight over there to see if Todd needed anything, see if we could get him back going. That's just how it goes. And he does the same thing for us. Whenever we had problems, we showed up to a pool without a turbo, and he was one of the first ones there. I know that sounds crazy, but we literally put one on in the parking lot.
It don't sound crazy. I get it. And I think that's just what's neat about pullers as a whole. I raced four-wheelers in high school. I've talked about that. You had people that you hung out with, and they'd help you get going, but it's just pulling is way different. And you and I both know I derbied for many years, and you know how derbying is too. You know what kind of people are there. They'll help you to an extent, but it's nothing like pulling.
No.
It's different.
There's none of that. There's none of the hatred in there, I guess you could say.
No. Pulling's, I think you've got the best of the best people whenever you get talking about pulling. And it don't matter if you're talking what you're running, if you're talking about NTPA, you're talking about garden tractors, running the stock class at your local club. The people got big hearts.
And the joy that I love about pulling more so than anything is you can have the $250,000 freaking hauler and roll in there and looking all beautiful, have the, $250,000 tractor with top of the line parts, and then you got Joe Blow that comes in here on a gooseneck with half price freaking parts and wins. I love seeing that,
That's a good feeling there.
I mean, you know what I mean, though? I mean,
I
that's
do.
what I like about pulling. You don't have to have the best stuff. You just have to have the best driver.
Yep.
You have to have the best plan, I should say.
Yep. So I do got to say, this has probably been one of the easiest podcasts that I've had talking to someone. And I've enjoyed getting into like more of the technical stuff too. That's been a lot of fun. But anyway, the next question I got here, you told about the Taco Bell story earlier, but do you got any other good stories from traveling? Any screw ups, like get somewhere and there's no chainsaw on the tractor or anything goofy?
No, not really. I mean, we've been kind of thankful over all the years and not having anything stupid crazy happen. I mean, other than maybe traveling 3.5 hours to pull in a parking lot, unload the tractor, and it start dumping rain.
That just sucks. That ain't a funny story. That just sucks.
Trying to think. I think the only funny story I have is when this one guy, we was pulling at our local fair. This guy wanted to bring his, I don't remember, some kin to him. He wanted to bring
nephew.
Wanted to bring his nephew over. And he was up there, doing his thing, and he went to walk around, and I don't know, about had to take him out in the ambulance. I looked at him and said, hey, whatever. I said, I'm getting down. The next thing I know, I look back and there's dust flying from somebody face planting.
It wasn't face planting. He busted his ass.
That's probably one of my funniest ones, I guess you could say.
Yeah. He got up quick, though.
He sure did. Yes, he did. I'm sure he felt pretty bad, though.
No, it was fine. Pride was hurt.
That's a really good question, because I don't think there is any, honestly. I mean, we've had pretty good luck. I mean, as far as like whoopsies, I guess you could say. I've left my fire suit at home one time.
Oh, good grief.
Here's a funny one. It's not, I mean, I guess it's funny to me. So we went up north, and we got all the way up there, and I made my pass or whatever, and I took all my gear off and everything and put it in the truck, and Brian has separate gear than what I have because we're two different sizes or whatever. And come to find out, we lost our gloves.
Oh.
I guess we left the gloves on the dash of the tractor because we stuffed them in by the backup camera, and I guess we either lost them or they blew off going down the road or something. And we ended up using latex.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, you just had to make it look like it, right?
Yeah.
Thank God there wasn't a fire or anything, I guess.
No kidding.
But no, that was probably one of the funniest ones, I would say.
What, you might have already said this one, but what would you say is your best memory from pulling?
I would say, honestly, watching Landon go for the first time at 15 years old.
Yeah.
Honestly. And that was probably one of the best. And then I would say when Terry was sick, whenever he ran for the last time, that was one of the most memorable moments whenever he was really sick and all he wanted to do was go one more time. And that was what he did. And that was probably one of the most memorable ones. other than, when Landon ran the first time. That was pretty cool. Because like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight, and the whole Curry family lets me run their tractor, and it's an absolute blessing. And I wish Terry was here to see it. With me and Landon and Wyatt running now, the second generation running. Because he never got to see us run, so
right.
That'd be one good memory was watching him run one last time, because he was a spitfire. That man absolutely knew how to drive that tractor.
I truthfully don't really know any of them. I hear lots and lots about all the Currys. I've met Brian a few times, but I've never heard a bad word about any of them.
No, Brian, that whole family's, they're top notch. They're like a second family, and Brian's like a second dad to me.
Yep.
We're best freaking friends. There's not a day where I'm not either with him or we're texting.
Yeah.
I talk to him just as much as I talk to my own dad.
Right. It's good to have people like that.
Oh yeah, he's great. There's not one bad thing I could say about him. And he's letting me, I'm privileged enough to, he lets me run his tractor.
Oh, definitely, yeah. You gotta have some butt kissing to an extent there, huh?
Well, no, he always told me, because I spent, like I said, 5 or 6 years always out there with him, traveling with him, and he told me that the only way I was ever going to get to run it is if I put my hands in it.
Absolutely.
And you exactly what I did.
You and I both know them, the older guys out there, whether you're talking about, a career or a hobby or whatever, if you show interest in it, they're going to show interest in you.
Yeah. And, that's like he said, he loves still running it, but he enjoys more than anything working on it. Nobody likes working on them. You know that.
Yeah.
The hard labor, the long hours and stressing and trying to get something put together 2 days before a freaking pool,
I get it, though, because I have more fun getting Sam's tractors together and watching her go down the track, or watching Huey go down the track, and just hearing him talk about, Uncle Dylan, I did this, or I did that, or, oh, we got to remember to check the oil, and just,
sure.
That's the stuff that sticks out to me. I like pulling. I like the stuff I've got, but I would sell the stuff I got in an instant if it meant, keeping them into it. I enjoy watching it and being there.
And he does too. He's ran since he was, he's been running for God knows how long, longer than I've probably been alive.
He's had his fun. It's time to watch you guys.
Yeah. And like he said, he still has fun on it, but it's not as fun. I don't know how to really explain it. I don't see how
I get it,
but you know what I mean. Yeah.
I get it.
And I enjoy the hell out of watching him, because, he knows that tractor like the back of his hand, and I'm only 3 years into it, so I'm still learning how it feels of different things, and watching him drive is just, it's amazing, especially after sitting in the seat, knowing how hard it is, and then watching him go out and do it, and it's like, damn, he makes that look so easy.
Yep. Where's your favorite place to pull?
My favorite place to pull? Well, I've actually got two for two different reasons. So my first favorite place to pull would be Olney, Illinois.
Really?
So Olney, Illinois, the reason why is because they have some of the best barbecue nachos in the state. And if there's one thing about me and Brian, everywhere we go, we set a goal out to try their barbecue nachos, because that's how we grade the pool.
That's fair.
So everywhere we go get barbecue nachos, and that's how we remember if it was a good place or not.
Understand.
So Olney is definitely my favorite for a good track and good barbecue nachos. So if you're ever up there, their barbecue nachos are fire. And my other favorite place to pull is the Threshman's.
Really?
Yeah, just the atmosphere.
Absolutely. I really expect you to say Pulaski or Anna, just being hometown.
Well, hometown is never a good place to pull.
Yeah. A little extra pressure.
Well, because people like You watched me do what I did after the tractor ran. We literally won. We got in the 4 previous hooks to that, we had 2 firsts and 2 seconds. And then we come there and I get dead last. Or no, I got second to last, but whatever. And it's just the hometown jitters, man. Everything always happens.
Yeah, I get that.
Like at Pinckneyville, yeah, the stands are packed, but it's just a different vibe there, When you're in Ann or Pulaski, everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
And that just puts more extra pressure in your head. Like, you don't want to screw up. All you want to do is just make an A to B pass, And if you don't win, everybody's going to give you backlash. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Yep. What advice would you give for new people getting into pulling? Whether you're talking on your level or garden tractors or any of it.
Don't do it if you don't love it. Don't make it a job, I should say.
Yeah.
Don't give up, and try to learn as much as you can from whoever you can. Don't ever think you know everything, because that is the number one mistake that you get in pulling is when you think you know everything, you screw up.
Buddy, that's just good life advice.
I understand
all of that, really.
But pulling is like life, It really is.
Yep.
A lot of it's trial and error. Your greatest mistakes are sometimes your learning curves. You don't learn anything in tractor pulling if you win every hook.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true.
That's about all I can really say to that. And dip your hands in it.
Yeah. Let's see. I've just got a few more here, and we're going to wrap it up. What do you think that we could do to improve pulling as a whole? Whether it's promotions or whether it's getting people into it. Just what can we do to improve it, or try to figure out something better for payouts? And again, this can apply on garden tractors to big tractors to whatever.
Well, the bad thing about pulling, and that's any sport in this aspect, is it's gotten crazy expensive for one. So, and then you look at the aspect of how much you spend going places versus how much you win. It kind of sucks. It drives people away.
Yep.
So like in like on our aspect, when we run a full summer, what we win at tractor pulls is just paying for gas.
Yep.
And it's doing good to even do that, pay our gas, armbands, what food we get there, blah, blah, blah.
I think we've had this conversation before. Don't you guys put your winnings back in a pot, and that kind of helps float you for the year, stuff like that?
So, yeah, it's basically built off of a bank account type deal. So the fairs supply the prizes.
Yeah.
And then we supply the dividends. Does that make sense? So, like, we divvy it up through the club.
Yeah. No. I mean, you guys, you and Brian, don't you guys put your winnings back, and that's what you guys buy your fuel and?
Yeah. That's usually what he uses to pay for fuel. When we go out to eat, it's obviously not going to pay for a new turbo, but it pays for our armbands.
Yeah.
And it pays for our entry fees every time. And one good thing that we did in our club too is used to the prize money differed by a lot. So like first place and fourth place was a big money jump.
Oh, really?
And then what they ended up doing is divvying it up to where, like, I'm just going to throw out some random numbers. Like first place gets 100, 75 for second, 50 for third, 25, and then it just keeps going down in small increments. So that way, guys are traveling. It makes at least pays for your gas if you place in the top 6.
Yeah.
But as far as growing pulling, man, the only thing that I could think that would help grow it is getting the younger generation in. Like my kids, for instance. Yes. I love that my kids love watching it, because that will keep the sport going. Whether you're pulling or not, support is support.
Yep.
And I like what the Pro Pulling League, or not the Pro Pulling League now, but the High Stakes Series has done. I like what they've done, and I feel like they're going to do more than that. Yes, they have. Yeah, and it doesn't help the smaller guys, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, though, the smaller guys kind of, you're not going to go run the high stakes. You've got your home. So I think it's kind of good that they're putting something out there for the guys that do want to make that next step up to something.
Yeah.
It's like the Simons pull up there. Yeah, it's big money to enter, but, you don't have to if you don't want to. But
That's
the guys
correct.
that want to try to do something a little bit more, there's an option for them.
Well, and you know as well as I do, the sport is just like anything else, drag racing, it doesn't matter. All sports have changed. But it's just every year things get bigger and better. And when things get bigger and better, it costs a lot more money. You start breaking down more. You go through a lot more parts throughout the year, so that drives more guys away, and it drives them either away or down lower to like what we run, So as far as in that aspect, the county fairs are the biggest thing right now. We struggle to even get county fairs because the county fairs, are.
Yeah, their money's drying up.
Yeah, so that's what's going to, if it keeps going the way it's going in 10 years, we're going to be struggling to find places to run.
Yeah.
So
this question here is just real simple.
Yes, sir.
Why do you do it?
It's an adrenaline rush. And it's an adrenaline rush that it's undescribable, and I absolutely love it. It's a thrill. And it's something that I can do, with my family and still enjoy it, and they enjoy it too.
Yep. Is Michaela there close, or is she?
Yeah, she's in the living room. She just brought the little man in here. He's asleep.
She want to comment on the family side of it or anything?
I don't know where she's at. She's not big on talking.
Okay, well, we'll move on. I understand.
Just as much as I do. It's actually funny that you said comment on that part because, in May, they have that pull in May in Nashville.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Well, that's our anniversary. So we've been going up there every year since we've gotten together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of our little anniversary getaway.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I can share your anniversary with you.
Yeah, well, at least you get to this year.
Yeah. Let's see. Where am I at? We're getting close to wrapped up. Finally, I'm about ready for bed, and Sam's already knocked out.
I tell you what, I had a good time though. I do definitely appreciate you letting me come on.
Oh, I've had a very good time too. Maybe have you co-host sometime. I think you could really get some different conversation going.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what I was telling Michaela. I was like, man, this is actually really fun. I'm sure you can go on and keep going, but.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're both a couple nerds when it comes to this stuff. So.
Oh, 100%. And I'd honestly like to find out more about what y'all do, versus what we do, because it's the same world, but it's two totally different deals. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's funny you asked that because one of my last questions I got here is you think we're going to see you get on a garden tractor?
That depends.
Or get into it.
I don't know if I can get into it as far as myself because I'm hooked on what I am.
Yeah.
As far as my kids, yeah, I would love to get them into it, 100%. And I would, yeah.
Oh, we'll make that happen. We will make that happen when I get a little bit bigger. But I'll tell you what, I get the adrenaline rush side of it. I get that. But I'll tell you what, I have a lot of fun just pulling my 12-horse too in the summer.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. I'd like to do it. I honestly would. I'd really like to do it. But I'm so nervous. Like if you let me run yours or whatever and then something crazy happen and motor blow up or something stupid, transmission blow out or something, burn up, and then here I am like, sorry, Dylan.
It'd happen if I was on it. I don't care.
Yeah, I know. That's what everybody says, but that's just my luck.
I understand that.
But I would definitely like to do it this summer. I would like to try it and see if I can show you up, because that may be another side bet.
Hey, we'll make it happen, man. We'll make it happen. I got
sure.
plenty of tractors floating around.
Well, my boy will be 2 this year. Maybe. I don't know what the age limit. Is there an age limit on them kids?
In the rule book, it's 5.
5.
But,
Okay. They still got some years.
Well, my nephew, Huey, I put him on whenever he's 3. And, I mean, he's only 4 right now, and you've seen him pull. He's got it under control. You know, we help him a little bit, but, you know, I'd say about 80% of the driving's him. And he's just 4 years old, man. He's going to be sharp when he gets a little bit bigger, I do believe. I hope.
Yeah, I just hope my boys can drive better than their dad.
No comment.
Well, you always wish the best for your kids, man. You always want your kids to be better.
Yeah, some people. Yeah. Yep.
Until they start talking crap, then I'm going to have to quiet them down a little bit.
Well, do you have any questions for me? I mean, I know normally it's us, but somebody's losing.
I really, dude, I mean, there's a bunch, but then we'd be on here for another 2 hours and it's getting late.
Yeah.
I'd sure like to come back in sometime though, maybe. I mean.
Oh yeah, I think
that's a possibility.
Do that. Yeah, we'll get you. I'd like for you to go to some of these indoor pools with me too. Just meet some people, and I think you'd be a good co-host too. So.
Yeah. Get some different questions from a different aspect.
Absolutely. Well, this is the last thing. Just who do you want to thank?
Well, I'd especially give a shout out to the Curry family for letting me do what they let me do, you know, and being so supportive like they are and being such a great family like they are, you know, and obviously my fiance for letting me be out late weekdays, weeknights, and, you know, all the time we spend out there working on the tractor. She's definitely the biggest supporter of them all. She doesn't like it, but, you know, it is
you
what
could be
it is.
doing a lot worse.
That's very fair, which it's definitely to the Curry family for sure. I mean, every single one of them for letting me get the privilege to run it, you know, and work on it. So definitely them and my fiance for sure.
Well, good. You got big plans for this next year coming up?
No, we haven't even touched the tractor. We're just going to hope for the best, roll the dice and see if it runs. It didn't really want to do much this year. Didn't want to spend much money on it. So it's going to be, it'll either run all year or run once, and then we'll park it and work on it this winter.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, we're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to go to bed.
Sounds good. I'm going to do the same, brother.
All right. On to this episode's vendor spotlight, I have Victor Hansen. Hi, Victor.
Good afternoon, evening, whatever day it is.
Yeah. So some of you guys might know him as the shiny pipe guy. Victor, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, we started with just building a couple little pipes for some tractors around here, and I posted a picture on Facebook, and long story short, we're in 20 states with 100 pipes sold since September.
Well, good deal. I know I have a couple of them myself, and they are some very, very nice pieces. What made you start doing that? Just something to add a little custom flair to something you had, or what?
Yeah, basically that's all it was. We just figured out that we could build these things pretty reasonable, and they look really cool, and so we built a couple, and a friend of mine put one on his tractor and liked it, and then it just exploded.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with them myself. So how long have you been doing this?
Our first post was September 9th of last year.
So you've made a bunch since September 9th.
Yeah, we've been pretty busy. And now we're doing doing some 105-degree stuff and some really crazy stuff. I'm getting customers send in pipes, which is much appreciated on customs. So it's really cool. It's fun.
Yeah, we've got a couple custom ones we're going to be sending you here before too long ourselves. So what's some of the bigger names you've sold to out there?
I don't know if they're bigger or not, but they're big to me. John Kress has a pipe on his his stock altered. Mark Rader's got a couple of pipes for me. Max Burkhart's got some pipes for me. I've done a couple copies of other pipes for whoever. We won't name them, but I've done some copies.
Do you have anything new that you're planning to offer anytime soon, or stick with pipes, or any different motors?
Well, we've done a little bit on the Predator stuff. There's a couple guys interested in the Predators. The Predators are a little tricky because the plans are a little bit different, but we're working through that. And there's some Predator guys interested. We want to play with the twins, but the single guys are keeping us plenty busy.
So are you just doing this for tractors, or are you doing for go-karts or anything else out there?
We're plenty busy just doing tractors.
I got you.
Yeah, it's 55 degrees out today, and I'm starting to think I got to get to building my own tractors and finding time.
I understand that, buddy. I deal with the exact same thing. I've had a busy day today building parts in the shop, and I've got my tractor sitting here, basically just a frame motor and transmission sitting there. I got to have it back together here in about a week. So I get it.
Yeah, well, but it's fun. I mean, I outsource my tranny stuff, and I'm outsourcing my engine stuff, so putting them together is pretty simple. But we're just getting to the pipe stuff, heavy.
Yeah. Yep.
You already know this. I have a pretty big customer that's making a pretty big purchase, so the people will be able to buy them online, not just from me.
Yep. That was my next question. What's the best way to order?
The best way is just through Garden Tractor Pulling Enthusiasts. That's my main line. Just message me, Victor Hansen. Find me on Facebook and message me.
Okay.
Because I don't even advertise anymore. It's just I got 5 orders over the week. I got 5 orders over the weekend, and I didn't do nothing. I just answer the messages.
I understand that. So do you want to talk about pricing on here, or would you rather just people message you on that?
Sure, I can do pricing. We do the inch and a quarter, which is the skinny minis for the guys that are running a 10 horse or whatever with the water pipe still on the block. Those are $150. The inch and a half pipes, OD pipes for the 12 horse that are running a flange, which I advise everybody to run a flange. Those are $160. Then you go to the inch and 5 or inch and 3. What's the next one? Inch and a half, inch and 5/8. Right. Then you're up to the 16s. That's a 16 flange. That's $180.
Okay.
So that's shipped to the customer.
Yeah, I think those prices are very, very reasonable, very good prices. And again, the quality is absolutely wonderful. What kind of TIG welder are you guys running?
I couldn't tell you right now. He just bought a new one, and he loves it better. He was running a Miller 255 on 480, and he loved it. And we just started doing work from home more because we got a little busier than work kind of liked us to be, so
Yeah.
we started working from home. But he said it's laying down better welds than before, and we're working through some processes to make them even shinier.
Yeah.
So and like I said, we're 100%. We can do any custom pipes. We're not stuck on what you see on the Facebook. If you want a 6-inch step, a 12-inch step, whatever step, we can do that. We're easy to work with.
Well, good. So obviously you do this on the side. What's your day job?
My day job is electrical mechanical assembly at a machine shop. So we build big machines usually and small machines. But and then I sidelight at my real job at that job as a maintenance guy. So I've been around. We do all kinds of stuff. So this is just fun.
Well, good. Well, I think all of us kind of need a side hustle to pay for these tractors, and sometimes that snowballs into something else.
Oh, it's definitely has. Like I said, I dropped my transmission off yesterday, and I'm building a copy pipe for a 50.5 for a friend of mine, and because everybody keeps telling him you need Victor to build your pipe.
Yeah. Well, they certainly look good, and I think they're more than worth the money that you ask for them. I couldn't be happier with my stuff. I know there's a lot of guys in my area, or a few guys in my area that's got them that are tickled to death with them too.
And it's cool that we're getting a lot of repeat customers, which is the really cool thing. Is that it? Or people that send people and said, Corey sent me, or Jaron sent me, or Mark sent me, or somebody sent me, told me that you're the guy.
Yeah, that is one of the best feelings that I've had in business and what I do is, whenever I recognize names popping up repeatedly, or whenever I see people on Facebook that tag me and stuff or recommend me, and to me, that's just the best feeling, really. I mean, it just tells me that people are happy with their equipment they get.
Oh, absolutely. We had to buy a couple dies for the bigger stuff, for the 105 degrees or over 90 degree bends for the 1.75 and 2-inch stuff. And yeah, that's an investment, but now we're making them, and who else is making stainless?
Yep.
I don't know.
Oh, buddy, I certainly understand. I've got a shop full of equipment that it's been a tough ride. I'll tell you that, but gotta have it. Gotta spend it to make it.
Oh yeah, it's not. Well, at the end of the day, you own it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad about it. You got to sell a few to make a few.
That's right. Well, buddy, you got anything else for me?
No. When are my parts gonna be done?
I was working on them whenever we started this, so hopefully I will be shipping them out by the end of the week. I had some of them on the shelves, and some of them I had to finish up. So.
Oh, I got one other thing.
Yeah.
One other thing for you. Just all the customers. Just thank you everybody for being patient, because we're busy. Trust me, we're busy, and it's just going to get busier. And so, if I say 2 weeks, I'm trying my hardest to get 2 weeks.
Yeah, I certainly understand that. I deal with the same stuff myself. Just patience is key. If people can be patient, they'll have a good product.
100%.
All right, buddy. Well, we're going to wrap this up, and I'll let you go.
Okay. Thank you much.
Thank you.